What's up, guys? Me here, just hanging out in my E63 AMG in the basement of where I live. Take a look around. It's very desolate. No one's down here. Kind of a off-putting vibe. Not too used to recording myself, so I apologize for any crappy angles or anything along those lines, but I just wanted to go over something really simple today. It's essentially how you're going to get motion. Another thing to apologize for, I spent a couple days in the hospital earlier this week for the first time ever due to a sickness, so I might be coughing a little bit. But pretty simple here. Basically, you need to do two things in life. You need to give it your all at all times for everything ever that you care about. And you need to also not care about the outcome whatsoever. So I just want to give a little bit of my resume here before you listen to me. I don't want you to think, who's this guy, talking crazy to me for no reason. I got motion to some degree, especially for my age. I started in door-to-door sales when I was 18. Did all right. Then I did really well. Then I did really, really well. I had a big team there for 2 of those years. Didn't like where it was going, so I came to insurance, and now I work in insurance sales remote, where I manage a big team of guys. That's sort of remote. Sometimes it's not, but anyway, yeah. So been in sales and sales management essentially, and I got a dope car. I got Pape. I got a dog. I got a cat. I've done cool shit. Been places, done that, and to some degree that I would argue people my age haven't. And it's I got motion, so hear me out. Now the first step is going to be trying your absolute hardest. So when I say trying your absolute hardest, in my case, right, you could say, hey, I get on the phones for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and I talk to as many people as I can. But are you really trying your hardest on every single call? Are you pushing as hard as you can? Are you giving it your best effort? Are you putting the energy into these calls that you can put into these calls? Because if you're not putting that energy into it, then you're not giving it your all, straight up. You can be putting the work ethic in, right? The hours, freaking slinging the hammer. But how hard are you slinging the hammer? You fucking like, boom! You get your shit at the top and you're like using momentum and shit, or you just fucking, you know what I mean? There's a big difference between the two. And at the end of the day, the guy who's going fucking hard is going to have a lot bigger of a rock pile than you're going to have with your little. So you need to go as hard as you can on every single sale. But let's stick with the rock pile conversation analogy here, because at the very same time, you cannot care about how big your rock pile gets. You cannot be focusing on that rock pile. You're putting pressure on that rock pile when you expect it to happen. So again, good way to compare to what I do is when I talk to someone on the phone, they can feel how much I care about the outcome. Now, obviously, I'm in commission-based sales. I make money based on the people that I talk to and how those conversations go. But I do not care about the outcome of an individual phone call, because if I say, I work in insurance, so I need a bunch of personal information, for example, social security number, I'm like, all right, they just do the medical check. They do that through your social. What's your social? I sound like I don't give a fuck. They're 10 times more likely to give it to me. Same exact thing applies to everything. Now, imagine you're, trying to run a business and, you're trying to close people, or you're making ads and you're coming across as desperate. People are going to be less likely to buy from you because they want to buy from someone who does not care, who's got motion. They want to buy from, someone who's not putting buying pressure on them. And it's another good example to compare that to would be, I took my car, again, E63 AMG, for the first service since I've gotten it the other day, and it was so much cheaper than I ever imagined, which is crazy. But anyway, it still was expensive, but it was like a lot cheaper than I thought. And the guy's like, yeah, you need new tires. I'm like, holy fuck, I just bought this thing. How do I need new tires? And anyway, he's like, yeah, we recommend probably the Pirellis or the Continentals. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. And I was going to object. And then he's like, yeah, we don't even sell them here though. So you're gonna have to figure that out, man. I'm like, wait. You telling me you can't sell me tires? And then now all of a sudden I want to buy from this guy for no fucking reason other than two things. The fact that I'm an idiot buyer, which I am, and then two, the fact that he can't. And a lot of people respond to that in the same way. And life responds to that in the same way. When you take the pressure off of something and you just have the best intentions and the best actions going forth. So for example, if I were to start a business reselling shoes, my number one thing would be I'm learning everything about shoes, and I'm getting the bread to buy the shoes, and I'm buying the shoes. But when I go and someone DMs me on Facebook, I'm not to buy the shoes, or how, I don't know how the fuck you sell shoes, Facebook, Depop, whatever though. I'm not pressing them, and I'm not giving out crazy price drops. I'm letting it happen how it happens. I'm just making sure I'm doing all the action steps, going in that line, hopefully up, where I'm doing the right things going up the hill. But I don't care about getting up the hill. I understand that there's peaks and divots, and I'm going to get all the way up, and I'm going to get all the way down, and I'm going to have to go all the way down from that hill. Like, I don't care about the individual spots. I just need that fucking bar to go up over time. I do not care about the individual outcome of each day. This applies for everything. You can't care that much about the outcome of things, and you have to detach yourself from the outcome of things while putting in 100%. For example, same exact thing with Girls with Sales is, as soon as you start getting thirsty and you start thinking really hard about what to say, you lost. You may as well just hang it up and try again later, because whatever you're saying, it doesn't matter if it's the most perfect words ever, it's going to come out wrong because you're thinking too much and you care too much, unfortunately. And at the end of the day, if you're doing the right things, you will get given what you want at some point or another. It's literally impossible, bar car crash and you die, God forbid, bar that or something along those lines, get cancer, I don't know. It's impossible to not get what you want by doing the right thing. So if you want to get up, number one thing I recommend is get in the sales. Don't care about the individual outcome of each day, but do the right things every single day and work your hardest. Same thing with business and sales, freaking clang, you're doing the same shit realistically at the end of the day. So hopefully all that makes sense. I don't have a script for this. This is loosely off of sales training I did a little bit ago here, and I just think it applies so well because things go so much better for me in my life, overall, when I stop caring. And sometimes I catch myself caring and I'm like, yeah, I don't even care, and then it gets better. So hopefully you guys can take something from this. Give me a comment if you guys have any recommendations. Probably to have myself in the middle of the camera if I had to guess, / not be recording on my phone in my car. But I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven to get some Zins, but peace.